Let me at him!
Well, there it is. Hello and welcome to the WTiiWarcraft Patron Q&A video for the month of October. So this is courtesy of the patrons who have pledged $30 or more. That's the Raider or Tauren patrons. And if they wish to ask any questions, then I shall answer them, which is why I'm here with this video. So thanks to Spencer Swanson for being a Raider for this month. Thank you very much. And his message is as follows. Hello Richard, I am the Pega Brostar. I have watched your Warcraft 3 videos since almost the very first post. After so many hours of entertainment, I decided that I simply had to pay you back for it. I'd feel like I was stealing your content after craft otherwise. So, I have become a Raider. Favourite unit, by the way. I noticed that as a Raider, I am allowed to ask you questions which you will post in a video. I'll try not to bog you down with annoying questions, but I have always loved your bird, Joey. Tweeting in the background, in exchange for my patronage, I would be very pleased to see a 5 or 10 minute video of you holding and playing with Joey and talking about him. When you got him, what you feed him, how you preen him, etc, etc. I love birds, you see. Me too, mate. And I think this would be very fun. Thank you for all the fun content, and I hope to see more of your Twitch streams, which I have finally joined and started watching live. Yes. Okay, I've got the little budgie with me. He's actually in chill mode at the moment. Let's see if I can sneak him over. He gets really... There he is. He gets really antsy when he knows that he's being recorded, which is why it's like nigh impossible to basically take a picture of him. So, Joey, if I can have him on my finger, I don't know how long I can hold him on my finger. He's one of these birds that's sort of like an independent kind of bird. Don't get me wrong, he's sociable. He likes it when you come and pay attention to him, but mostly in his area or in his space when he's ready for you. So he has his own little area downstairs, and if he's sitting by the area, he'll come up and see you. So he's starting to chirp a little bit now. He's starting to flutter his wings a little bit because he knows that I'm talking about him. It's kind of clever. But he's a little bit snooty as well. So I would say if I can get the little bird on my finger. Oh dear. Here it goes. The beak's coming out now. He's starting to show that he doesn't want to come over, but we're going to take him anyway because he's a stubborn little fella. Alright, let's see how long I can keep him. He always tries to come back to his cage, so this is one of the best ways to do it, is to block his sight, but he's probably going to end up flying anyway. He's kind of scraggly. You can see him searching for his cage. Okay, so this is Joey. He's 10 years old, and we've had him for pretty much his entirety of his life. My dad purchased him at a pet shop. He's supposed to be a pedigree budgie. He's an English budgerigar, which means he's particularly feathery. And he started getting spikes now, which is basically the feathers that should molt, but they're probably not because he's a bit older now. And he's getting rid of a lot of his feathers at his back, so I can't quite show you, otherwise he might be able to fly off. But yeah. He does a good job of preening himself, apart from getting really greedy on the back and taking way too many feathers off. But there's not too much we can do about that, can we? He is a rather stubborn budgie, I would say. Incredibly stubborn, but very cute. And we really appreciate him. I'm pretty sure he just probably tried to do something there. I don't think I could have him here without him pooping. So basically, it's what budgies do. They basically poop almost once every 5 minutes. It's quite ridiculous. So if you do ever consider getting yourself a budgie, be prepared for that because they make a lot of mess. But they are adorably cute and noisy. So he's the kind of budgie where a lot of the time he won't say anything when you're talking to him. He's a listener. But then when you're not talking to him, or if you've got the TV on or the background noise or something like that, he will go onto a massive monologue. Like, he'll just commentate his own sort of games for Warcraft 3. I could sit him in front of it and have him do it because he just won't shut up. He says all sorts of things. He commentates. He's supposed to say Richard. I don't know if I've ever heard him say Richard. I don't think I've heard you say Richard. He says pretty boy and most of the things you'd expect him to say. He says quite a few human phrases in that garbled budgie voice. But I don't think he's going to be doing any for us. It's like, what you doing sort of thing. That kind of stuff. The typical budgie language of which they learn. So we've had him a long time, and he's been difficult to train. He's not a particularly trained budgie in that way. He's definitely tame, or tamer. You can't really stroke him or touch him. He's not a budgie like that. So we can't really do anything like that with Joey, but I can at least have him on my finger, but he will often try to get off it. Not because he's miserable, it's just because he, like I say, I think he's highly independent. He just really likes to be in control of his own space, and I can relate to that, so I understand where you're coming from, Joey. He seems he's that's kind of skinny at the moment, but he can really puff himself up massively. But you don't necessarily want him to be too puffed up, because when they're super puffed up, it normally means they're ill. So he's just scraggly at the moment, but I still think he's quite healthy. You haven't got a cold, have you? Sometimes he likes to do like triple sneezes or more. Like they'll just sneeze multiple times. He likes to lick the radiator as well. I don't know what that's about. That's his area downstairs. He's got like, we've got this like era, which is normally for clothes and stuff like that, but it's a great thing for a budgie because they can go up and down the perches. And yeah, he likes to get on the edge of that and then just lean over and lick a radiator. He eats a gajillaton of seed, like a ridiculous amount, non-stop. We used to give him, he loves spinach and veg, actually, cucumbers, lettuce. Normally put that out for him. I don't think he eats it so much. I don't know, that's because he's just getting older, he's getting fussier, and he just has all the easy stuff, seed and stuff like that. He likes millet, that kind of thing. I do try to get him some interesting things for his birthday and stuff like that, which is like seed with egg and stuff like that, special made stuff. But sometimes he'll have it, sometimes he won't. He loves the mirror, most budgies do. He likes chewing cardboard and paper. So we actually have his bed is actually like a flat panel of cardboard because he's got a bit of a sore sort of foot, kidney sort of thing. I'll go into detail on that in a moment. But he likes to chew his own bed basically. So eventually, like this bed, I can't really show you with my hand because it's a bit distracted. But he's going to come off in a moment. Okay, so calm yourself, Joey. Calm. If I bring over, he's got lots of toys. Like I say, his bed, he chews through it. So sometimes he lies in it. Otherwise, he likes to sleep on the perch. Because he knows he's being recorded. Normally, he'd be chatting this thing up like mad, but this is kind of an alien environment for him for the most part. He's like, what the fuck is this? I like doing a little budgie voice for him. And if I think he's being particularly fat or he's eating too much seed, then I'll add a bit more depth to the voice and be, how are you doing today? Okay, so as for preening and cleaning and stuff like that, we try to give him baths. And at the moment, our method is to put like a little saucer out, fill it with water, obviously at a decent temperature, and just put it on his cage and let him go nuts with it. But he is kind of stubborn, and sometimes he dives on it, and you know he goes for it because where he sits, which is downstairs, a lot of the time by the area, he's got access to this giant window, which has access to the backyard, which basically has tons and tons of bird and wildlife and whatever, sort of like flying around it, doing whatever it does. Yeah. He imitates a lot of whistles as well, the wolf whistle. It's quite fun to play with him doing that. And yeah, he likes to sort of sometimes splash himself in there and go for it because he sees the other birds using the bath. And other times he does nothing. So if he does nothing, then we basically have to spray him because we have this little bottle and it has a special mix ingredient in it that helps him with his feathers. And we have to spray him, and he doesn't like that so much, but it needs to be done, otherwise he ends up being very smelly. And as for what else have you asked, feed him, preen him, yeah. A few years ago, we had an issue where he was starting to sort of be a bit, wouldn't put too much weight on his left leg, and that was because apparently he had like a tumour growing near his kidney, or like a tumour by his kidney. Budgies often get problems, normally with tumours on the back and stuff like that. Yeah. So the vet actually didn't think he was going to live like for the end of the year, and this is when he was like 7 years old. So he's lived 3 years longer than he basically should have done, according to that vet. So we had a little X-ray done of him, so you could see like a little X-ray of a bird. It looks kind of funny. Like they just look like nothing basically, as you can imagine, because we're only skin and bones. He's going to go for it. I often tease him, go for the eye. He won't do it. What's the matter? What's the matter? What's the matter? Yeah, so he's still going strong. He sometimes has his moments where he has to lie down At the moment, I can see he's not putting too much weight on his left leg, so I'm going to move him over now, just in case he's not too comfortable. So there you go. There you go, little fella. You can spy on the budgie now. There he is. He's starting to preen himself now a little bit. I'm not sure what he's up to. He's going back and forth. He likes to chill between the budgies. You can see the cucumber at the bottom there, which is where he'll sometimes nibble on that if he wants. You can see the back of his feathers is a little bit red. That's basically because he has no feathers there. He covers himself quite well, but when he actually sort of lifts up his feathers and starts to preen the back, he's kind of bald at the back there because he chews through a lot of the feathers. Now, a lot of people might put that down to stress, but he's not a particularly stressed budgie. He has an incredibly easy life. He has the entirety of the downstairs, which is a long hall, basically. And I don't mean like a hall as in it's not very wide. It is pretty wide as well, to sort of fly around. And he's got a lot of luxury in that sense. He's got his cage on one end, and he's got the area on the other end where he hangs out a lot all day. He's got access to like the birds. We've got bird feeders in the garden, so that keeps the garden sort of active with lots of sparrows and blackbirds and pigeons, wood pigeons, all that kind of thing. So he's preening non-stop pretty much at this point. And yeah, he's quite comfortable in his life, I would say. Some budgies and stuff like that, people just leave them in the cage and stuff like that. I mean, each to their own, but I don't think that's the right thing to do. But that's only because every time we've ever had a budgie, we've always had an open space downstairs for them to just entirely have as their own, and they can do what they will with it. And if they want to go into other rooms, they will, but he will just stay in the one room. He's kind of a sort of scaredy bird. He's a proper scaredy bird. Like, he'll just jump at things for like no reason. They all have their own personalities, but this one's a particularly awkward, stubborn bird, but I love him nonetheless. He is gorgeous. Yes, he is, and he knows he is. And he knows I'm talking about him right now because he sometimes shuffles himself a little bit. He can tell. So, yeah, that's for Joey. I hope that satisfied a lot of your curiosity there regarding the budgerigar. That is Joey. I noticed that up earlier, or rather a bit later, you also wanted to ask, you say, well, I have been a mite bit curious as to what your family thinks of your playing Warcraft 3 and streaming it and making money on it and such. Though I totally understand if that's too personal a question. Mostly I'll be happy with the video about Joey. Maybe a shout out to me and my brother Miles. Shout out to you and your brother Miles. I never know how to quite do shout outs other than just saying it like that. We watch your videos together and are big fans all around. P.S. If you ever make the $375 mark, I will have to actually purchase Warcraft 3 and play it with you. Never done it before, so I may need your help getting into the game, just for your information. So yeah, Warcraft 3 is totally worth purchasing, for sure. Don't have to be for that reason, but go for it nonetheless. As for the family, well, let's see, my dad's sort of like into the technical side of computers, so he's more sort of like on the fixing computers and such, rather than actually playing the games, although he does sometimes play games. My mum's kind of, she's a typical kind of mum in that sense. She's completely and utterly clueless with computers, and if she's typing, she'll be like, whereas I can do 80 words per minute, which isn't even that much, to be honest with you. You should see Pracky, he can beat me. I mean, I don't even know how he does it. He's a beast. Yeah, so my sister, she's kind of on and off the computer. She plays a lot of the older games and sticks to them, but she just does it in between sort of watching TV and stuff like that. She's a casual in that sense, really. I'm the only hardcore gamer. I always wondered what it would be like if I had a brother, just that sense. Not that I'm dissatisfied with my sister in any way whatsoever. She's fantastic, and very grateful, but I always have wondered if I had a brother, would I get along with him? Would we be sort of like partners in crime for computer gaming, or would we be complete and utter rivals, always fighting, hating each other, getting in each other's way? I don't know. But yeah, what do they think? Well, I don't think they're particularly happy about it. I mean, I remember a long time ago, almost 10 years ago now, they really gave me a lot of trouble. It was never been comfortable sort of playing my games and stuff like that. I'd always have my dad on my back, mostly. Always trying to get me to do something else, pretty much. Don't know whether that's because he feared that I would be into something else, or no, more that I wasn't doing enough, things like that. And to some degree I wasn't. This is back in a time, early 20s is basically sometimes the best years of your life, to some degree, because those are the years where you literally just fucking do what the fuck you like and don't give a shit. And that's pretty much what I did. I just played World of Warcraft all day, every day, and all I think about is going to sleep and then playing the World of Warcraft again the next day. But I didn't do any videos like I do now or anything like that. None of the production or anything that goes into half the amount of effort. I do insane amounts of stuff in the background, and I like doing that, and that's what I've mixed into my life now on top of the gaming. So I have a mix and match of both. This is back when I just used to do only gaming, like nothing but gaming. I would come home from work, sit on the game, and there was no videos being made, there was no technical purpose for them or anything like that. It was just pure gaming in that sense, and then go to sleep, go back to work, and rinse and repeat. So they're a bit more tolerant now. They've got used to me doing it. And it didn't hurt that there was a BBC News article or something like that, or thing on the program talking about streaming and stuff like that, and how people can sometimes make money and make a living off it. I'm far from that. Far from that at the moment. The YouTube avenue is absolutely pitiful. The Patron basically does more than the YouTube does, so I'm very grateful for that, and that gives you an inclination as to how much YouTube does, and I've been doing this for like almost 5 years now. So, and that's with both of my channels. That's not with just the WTiiWarcraft channel, that's both channels combined, and I still make less, so it's quite terrible, really. You can't really do this sort of thing for a living unless you can basically make the wages that you would do to get by in a living, and I don't make that much in my job. I don't do like a high paid job or anything like that. I just do a job. That's pretty much what I do. So that combined with this can help a little bit. So I'd like to get to the point, obviously, where I could actually just do this for a living, but you need to hit high numbers. High numbers. You're talking about like probably, honestly, realistically, if I think what I get at the moment at YouTube and stuff like that, I would probably need at least 10 times the amount of numbers that I'm getting at the moment for both of my channels. So if I get, say for example, 100,000 views monthly for WTiiWarcraft and 100,000 for WTi1, I would need, so that's 200,000, I would need basically 2 million views per month, something like that. And that's going off AdSense and stuff like that, whether it all adds up properly and stuff like that. So yeah, you need a lot more to do this reliably, but they like the idea more that that's the way it is always with family and stuff like that. You know, if they don't understand something, they'll be dead against it. But the moment you tell them that you can make money from it or something like that, they're like, oh, that's all right then. It's like, well, hang on a second, you had a big problem with this, but suddenly there's money to be made from it and you don't care anymore. It's like, it's a bit iffy like that. They're not quite. Let's just say I haven't got anyone in my family that's passionate about the same things that I'm passionate about. They play games and stuff like that. They use the computer, but they're nowhere near on the same level as me. So I'm very solo and independent in my personality type, and the people that I keep around me and stuff like that. It's just sort of like very far and few between, really, people that I can find that I like and are like me, basically. So yeah, I hope this basically opened up a little bit more for you. I probably wouldn't go down such a personal route for too many questions in the future if there are any other patrons that want to jump on board. But yeah, I don't mind answering questions. I like to try and keep myself as honest as possible, so that way I can produce better content for everyone, because then I won't feel like I need to fake anything, because you shouldn't have to. And if you do have to, then sooner or later you're going to slip up, so you may as well just be honest in the first place. Right. He's just been chilled out, by the way, this whole time. I'll get another little look at Joey. I didn't realise this video's gone on quite so long, because it's only like one bunch of questions. But if there were more questions in the future, I'd have to condense it down a little bit. You can see he's puffing himself up quite a bit more. I'll see how close I can get to him before. My webcam actually won't come out any further than that. But you can see he's curious. He flutters his wings a little bit every now and then. You can sort of, the only way you can really touch Joey, by the way, is to really sort of put your nose over his head so he can't peck you so easily. But you can't really touch him with your fingers and such. He won't really let you get away with that. Alright then, so thank you everyone for watching, if you did watch. Special thank you obviously to Spencer Swanson for being a patron. And obviously thanks to everyone else who's a patron as well. I really do appreciate it. So, that'll do it. I'll see you later. Take care. Bye-bye.